Hey, it's Dark Matter. Today we've got a pair of Nerfworks Labs Solos Hold Ahsoka Sabers from the Clone Wars. This is the newer version, I think the 2019 version. And they came to me in a trade, just finished installing them and getting the configurations all set up and everything. I had never seen them before in person. I think I like these better than a Rebel Sabers. Just I don't know, they're a little more interesting, and plus the other one's like 9 feet long. But these are nice and clever in the way that how you go about installing all the electronics are identical installs. Proffie board 2.2, the only and Shtok neopixel connectors. The only difference is the little one has a 1.3 mil recharge port, just because there's not much size room in there, and so 1.3 and a kill switch. And this one has a 2.1 charge port and just a kill key. And yeah, pretty clever. You and the Goth Eco chassis in these. No sound venting, but they're quite loud for not having sound vents. The speakers actually sit somewhere in the halfway point, and this black inner core piece has a bunch of holes drilled in it, and so it just kind of reverberates inside the whole saber and then ends up coming out from the sides here, so they're kind of hidden, and that's pretty cool. Not a lot of room in this little guy, obviously. Same amount of stuff in this one as in that one, which is and the blade socket depth is pretty deep for such a small saber, so all that stuff is packed in basically from the switch back, which isn't much space, but it works. So yeah, Proffie boards, only 22 millimeter speakers, 18650. Both are set up the same way for the button configuration, with this copper greebly on top. Activation is going to be on your left, and auxiliary over there. So basically you install the stuff into the chassis, and then the chassis itself slides into this black piece, which slides out of this outer shroud. So you install everything into this black inner core with the switch plungers and everything, and then this whole thing just slides into this for both sabers, and then you add all the external, little greeblies and all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty clever. Otherwise, there'd be no way to install these little tiny switch plungers. You just kind of have to float in there until you slide this in this way, with the plungers just riding down this channel here until you hit the exact right spot, and then you can add all these external greeblies. Are all threaded in, so it locks everything together. Pretty clever. This one first. So yeah, eco chassis on these, no crazy like crystal chamber or anything like that, but everything is accessible right from the back end there.
My name is Ahsoka Tano.
Like I said, pretty loud for 22 millimeter speakers. I am pushing them quite heavily in the config. So the first bank on each saber is set up blue for when she gets them back in season 7, and then the second bank on this one is set to green. This one is set to green yellow, seen by the cool plaque that comes with a plaque for each. Yeah, so the larger one is set for just green yellow on the little one. It's cool. And there's the little one, the kill switch down there, 1.3 recharge right there. The little end of the chassis broke off while I was installing it, and I could have probably glued it back on. Not much room for a clean underneath install on this. There's not much room under there. But yeah, this little piece broke off, but this is so secure in there with all the stuff that I wasn't worried about it like rattling around or anything.
My name is Ahsoka Tano.
Which, you know, like I said, I mean they're surprisingly loud. The machining is really nice. I might need to go through with some steel wool and just clean up some like surface scratches. The Saber's basically like all shroud, so it's gonna get a little dinged up. A couple like machining marks and stuff on it, but that's not really that big of a deal. Some people don't really care for the Clone Wars Sabers of hers, but I really like them. And let me throw a blade in one of these. I have no room to do this, but that's okay. I'm gonna do it anyway.
I am no Jedi.
So there's the green yellow for the Shtok Saber. Keep losing the connection there. And then this one is just blue.
I am no Jedi.
And then green. Got a few other banks on there of some other stuff. I also have the Fulcrum sound font on there as well. I know it's the wrong Sabers for that, and I also have white blades or silver blades for that one later on in the config, but mainly they're just for either the blue or the greens. Yeah, I mean, these are definitely the nicest ones that I've seen. I know that I think the Disney parks are doing these now. I've seen some older versions. I would have really loved to do, you know, the fancy crystal reveals and all that, but sometimes you gotta cut a corner somewhere. These little black greeblies is just a dab of E6000. Everything else is threaded. And on the big one, there's just the one. Oh, I guess there's two. Yeah, that's just held on with just a dab of glue. But underneath, there's a screw that goes all the way down into the inner core piece. And then this also threads in. Oh, there's my retention screw. The control box threads in. Both of these thread into the chassis itself. There's actually holes in the chassis for the screws from these, so it's really solid. Control box obviously does nothing. But yeah, they're lightweight, screen accurate. CoverTechs. I'm really not a fan of CoverTech wheels, but it's part of the Saber. This little guy was a challenge just because all the stuff in there has to go in there. Like Shimino's workshop, I was watching his video and he was saying the same thing. It would be cool if this could have been the activation, but anyway. Yeah, very cool. Like I said, I'd gotten these in a trade a while back. Just finally got around to installing them. If you're going to install these, I mean, you know, you can go for the Eco chassis. They're inexpensive from KR Sabers. You don't get the same kind of reveal, but it works just fine, and they're heavy duty. You can see. easy to access the board. I usually put a little bit of E6000 on just on the sides of the board, and just kind of put it into its slot. So when I go to plug into it, it doesn't like move around, pull any wires or anything. But it can also, easily be taken back off if needed. So I like E6000 for that. Oops. Turn this one back off. So yeah, they're fun to play with. They sound good for as tiny of a speaker as it is. Highly recommended. So I'm going to go put them in my glass case. It comes with these cool metal plaques. There's no stand for the plaques, so I'll have to come up with something, but yeah, very cool. Maybe someday I'll own the Rebel set, who knows, just to make it a complete set. Yeah, hey, thanks for watching, everybody.